In this segment, we'd like to talk about courseware, and the course we're going to talk about is Introduction to CMMI. We had mentioned in a previous segment about the Class A appraisals, a Scampi Class A appraisal, and in the requirements from the SCI, the Scampi Class A appraisal must be conducted by teams, and the team members must be trained in the CMMI by taking the official CMMI course called Introduction to CMMI. It's a 3-day course, it's a university course, and it's using the Software Engineering Institute's materials. From that course, the students are introduced to not only the model, but the content of the model, the structure, how it's put together, and all 22 process areas are covered. It's an introduction course, so there's not a real deep dive into every practice, but each process area is covered in sufficient detail to understand what the model is, the difference between staged representation versus continuous, and how to appropriately interpret the model in the context of your own business. It's strongly suggested that you, companies that are going to do CMMI process improvement, put as many people through this course that will be involved in process improvement as possible, as feasibly possible through budgetary constraints and things like that. But with keeping in mind that with attrition and the fact that many programs take maybe up to 18 months, year, 2 years to work up to a Class A appraisal, it is beneficial to have people start out with this course, take the course, and then have those people be the ones that would be tasked to go through process improvement journey. And as I had mentioned with the attrition situation, having a pool of CMMI trained people is always a good idea. One point to make is when putting people through Introduction to CMMI, it's not required to have 100% of the organization put through the model training. The key focus should be on the people that will be performing process improvement in the organization. They're the key people that will probably carry the program from beginning to end and ultimately be on the Class A appraisal team. Most organizations put a contingency program in place and they train a pool of people such that if somebody leaves the program or has to go into a different project, the momentum on the program stays the same for process improvement. Content of Intro to CMMI course. The content in the Intro to CMMI course is broken into various sections and various topics and exercises. The topics primarily are, number one, introduction to process. Why we use a good process and what the benefits of using process are. Then each process area is addressed by looking at the book and looking at the model from the perspective of conducting a project. The topics, project management and managing a project. The other topic, engineering, the design aspects of a project, the development, the testing, so the engineering processes. The other section is talking about support process areas, things like QA, measurement, configuration management. And then there's a final module that ties the whole model together. So the participants in the Intro to CMMI course go through a progression of first understanding process, then understanding how the model is constructed, then going through the process areas from the point of view of reality of conducting a project within an organization that will be doing a good standard set of processes. And the follow-up would be tying it all together. So at the conclusion of taking Intro to CMMI, the participant should be able to, number one, understand the model. Number two, understand where to go in the model to answer the questions that they're looking for about a particular process or process area. Number three, a pretty good understanding of how the model fits into their context, be it a mainframe legacy type situation or client server or web-based. Each context is different. So the participant should walk away with an understanding of how the model affects their business and their organization. Lastly, they'll have a pretty good idea of where to take process improvement through the next steps of getting a baseline appraisal, going through action planning, and standing up a process improvement program.